Open letter to Black America from Unity Ministers. We love you, and we embrace our responsibility to eradicate racism. It is our divine appointment to stand with you.
To see you.
To hear you.
To listen.
To be in conversation with you.
To be with your anger without judgment.
To know your sacred worth.
To acknowledge my privilege.
To take responsibility.
To confront complacency.
To back my words with action. Palabras con acción.
To be accountable for effecting change in my community.
To support Black-owned businesses.
To be a bender of the arc of the moral universe that bends toward justice.
To demand the end of police brutality.
To use my voice and my vote to end systemic racism.
To hold you and our country in prayer.
To be a call to action.
To be a voice for justice.
To be a voice for unity.
Good morning, beloveds. Thank you for joining me this morning. I'm just feeling the words of my beloved sister and brother ministers in unity as they share from their hearts. Sorry, I don't normally behave this way, but I think I'm feeling a lot from this past week, the last couple of weeks, and I'm sure you are too. And I'm so glad that we get to spend this time together this morning. I'm Kitty Benson. If we haven't met before, I'm the minister at Unity in Naperville, Illinois. And I am grateful to have my friend, my dear friend, Kim-Char Meredith here with me to share her music. Good morning, Kim-Char. How are you doing?
I'm good. Hi, Kitty. Hi, everyone. Good morning.
And we're grateful to have Parker Meredith in the background helping us experience this on the waves, the invisible waves, so that we can all come together today. And if you're not watching on a Sunday, just know we're sending our loving heart to you whenever you connect with us. We're so grateful that you're touching base, and opening up with us as remember the truth of who we are. And one of the ways that we like to start our Sunday service is with a time of meditation. And today will be an opportunity for us to just center in. This is a practice that I hope that you will learn to do for yourself daily, even if you just start with 5 minutes. Today, we're going to push that envelope to maybe 10 or 15. So I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes with me if that's comfortable, or else we'll have a beautiful picture up here on the screen, and I'll ask Parker to play some music for us while we begin to just calm our bodies. Take deep breaths and feel with every breath that God is breathing us. We take another deep breath. As we allow our shoulders to drop. Trusting that in this moment, the divine presence supports us. We lean into that presence. We open to that presence. We give way to that presence. For we are spirit first and eternally, one with all that is. We rest in the knowing that the one power in this universe is also the one power in our hearts. I am nourished and sustained by the power of God. I know that spirit can only be and do in the world as God can be and do through us. And faced with the human experience that is alive right now, in this moment, I am a listening heart. I am a listening heart to the hearts around me. I listen to the needs that are being spoken, cried out, demanded. I am a listening heart. As I breathe deeply again and release, I listen for the still small voice of my heart. Trusting divine wisdom to guide me through these days. I am a listening heart for the voice of God. I am a giving heart. Watching for the need. Giving to it in the moment. Willing to be the hands and feet of the one presence and power, the all provider in this world. With hands wide open, with ears listening, I respond from my giving heart to the need that I see. I am a giving heart, fully and freely, knowing that I give not from myself, but from the fullness of the infinite, the ever-present giving heart of God. I am a loving heart. Through the eyes of love, I see the good. I search for it and know that I find it. For our good is everywhere present and in all beings. I look for the good with my loving heart. I am a loving heart that works for the good, that seeks to bring harmony into all relationships. I am a loving heart that allows each person to be who they are, knowing that their own heart is unique and yet one with my heart. I am a loving heart for I know there is only one presence and one power in this universe and in this world and in each life and in my life. The all-loving goodness of God. Let's take a moment to breathe again into that truth. As we come back to this space and time and open our eyes. And I'll invite you to speak those words with me as you see them on the screen, as we invoke in our consciousness the one presence and power. Let's say these words together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life. The all-loving goodness of God. And so it is. I'll just invite you to stay in this soft place as we invite Kim-Char to come in and lead us in a song that I know will continue to remind us of the truth of who we are. Kim-Char?
are all that I am longing for. I open the windows, I open the door. The breath of life carry away all that does not serve me anymore. Sweep through this house, from ceiling to floor. Breath of life move through me. You are all that I am longing for. Breath of life move through me. You are all that I am longing for.
Let's just take another breath together. Allow ourselves to feel that presence that is the very life that we breathe, and that is the very life that is breathing us. Thank you, Kim-Char. That's beautiful. You know, a couple weeks ago, I was talking about that idea. I had started a message series called Guaranteed Good. And if you were watching, you might remember me talking about that guaranteed good as the omnipresence of God. This presence that's invisible, but we call it substance. It's our name in unity for the spiritual energy that is the foundation of all that is. And I talked about why that substance is always guaranteed, because the presence, the omnipresence of God is eternal and infinite, and there's nowhere we can go that is outside of that presence of good. So I was talking about how that formless substance is what we use to form the world, and that there's always enough, and so that we can count on our good being everywhere. Fast forward to today, and it may be difficult for us to see that good. First, we had COVID-19 as part of our reality, where the good seemed to be absent. The very loss of life or health seemed to be the priority, seemed to be the dominant force. We talked about how our income comes out of this substance, and yet here we are with millions of people still having lost their jobs and feeling a loss of not only income, but security. Where's our guaranteed good, Kitty? And then we heard the story about George Floyd losing his life at the hands or the knee of a police officer. And it was very difficult to see our guaranteed good in the midst of that circumstance and all that has come since then. It's a feeling that we have lost not only his life, but we've become very aware, if we weren't already, of the lives that have been lost and lost and lost in the same kind of circumstance. And in the process, not only has the African American community lost their peace, their harmony, but hopefully, finally, the white community is waking up to that loss. And yet it's still hard to find our guaranteed good in this process. And yet now more than ever, we need to find it. And what I promised you a couple weeks ago was that I was going to continue this series by showing you how to manifest, how to bring into the visible from that guaranteed good. And I wanted to just start this morning by looking at how nature works. You know, we talked this morning about breathing, and you probably know that your body is designed to breathe on its own. We don't have to consciously make it do that. Another thing is that your body is designed to be in health and well-being. We had our healing service this past week, and I reminded you that that's the way the body is meant to live, from a natural state of well-being. It was designed that way. And one of the tools that the body uses to make that happen is circulation. We probably all know that not only does our blood circulate through our heart, but also our lungs are involved in circulation, and between the two of them and probably a trillion other features in the body, we are experiencing life as it is carried in circulation throughout our body, through that oxygen and through that blood. And at the same time, the body is circulating out what it does not need. It's got many different ways that it releases what is no longer useful in the body. But one of the things that we release out, circulate out, is carbon dioxide. And what's interesting about that is that it goes out into the atmosphere around us, and our trees take it in because it finds nourishment in what we are circulating out. It then brings in and circulates within its system. And that tree, those millions and trillions of trees that are on our planet, are also circulating out that which it does not need, but that which we need. And so we circulate the oxygen from those trees back into our system. And it's this beautiful organizational circle of life that's happening between us and nature. We also see it in the way that our planet circles around the sun. We enjoy and need those seasons in order for the planet to continue to express itself wholly and fully. And so the sun and the earth have this beautiful circulation happening between them of life. And not only that, the earth itself is rotating in a circle, bringing us both sunlight and darkness, light, day, and nighttime, rest, both which are so deeply needed. These examples of how nature is circulating are just a few of the principles, the spiritual principles that are operating in this universe. And those principles are something that are out of the presence of spirit. They may look like scientific or physical principles, but in unity, we would say that it is the very spirit of God that is the principle of life, of circulation, and of good. And so we see that not only in the physical way, but in the spiritual way, we are experiencing the circulation of good in our life. And I wanted to show you a few scriptures up here on the screen this morning of how spirit is circulating good to us. It starts with just Jesus saying in the book of Luke, it's God's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. He also, or the prophet Isaiah also said, before we ask, God has already answered. From the Psalms 145, God, you open your hand, satisfying the desire of every living thing. And one of my favorite scriptures about the goodness that is constantly being circulated into our life comes from the Psalms 36. How precious is your steadfast love, O God. All people may take refuge in the shadow of your wings. They feast on the abundance of your house, and you give them drink from the river of your delights. For with you is the fountain of life. In your light, we see light. Just a few examples of how spirit is circulating good into our lives. And still we may be sitting here saying, Kitty, I don't see it. Not in the life that we're experiencing today. Where is that guaranteed good? Kitty, open your ears, open your eyes. Can't you see what's happening around you? Can't you hear the voice that's crying, I can't breathe? I can't breathe. Those were the words that George Floyd spoke before he died as a literal expression of a physical need in his body. I can't breathe. And that same chant was taken up by not just Black lives around us, but many protesters around us to remind us of the oppression of the Black community. I can't breathe. And you know what's interesting about that idea? It's also the chant of the body that has been experiencing the coronavirus. That is the dominant symptom of the body. I can't breathe. And those who have been laid off from their source of income may be feeling that as well, that their supply has been cut off. I can't breathe. I'm being suffocated. Isn't that interesting? That message is being spoken and lived in so many ways right now from around the world. And yet, no matter what circumstances, I promise you that God's good is guaranteed. I promise you that. Because the presence of God is everywhere, I promise you that the presence of life is everywhere. The presence of love is everywhere because that is the nature of God. And so that love is present, as well as the wisdom of God to guide us through these days, fully guaranteed. And as I mentioned, the infinite supply, the substance, the spiritual energy, always present to supply our every need in spite of shortage. So how do we manifest this good if it's everywhere around us? I want us to take a clue from something that Jesus said from the book of Luke, chapter 6, verse 38. As you give, so shall you receive. As you give, so shall you receive. That's how we receive from the flow of our guaranteed good. It depends on how we contribute to the good. It depends on how we are a contributor of the good. And you know what? I'm not talking about giving materially. I'm not talking about even taking action right now. Maybe we'll get to that later. But first and foremost, as we give, we receive. As we give starts with what we give from consciousness. Notice I have my hands on my heart and not on my head. What starts in the head winds up in the heart, and we end up giving that energy out to the world. What are you giving from your heart right now? What energy are you sending out? What beliefs are you living and giving from? What or who are you living as right now? That is what we're giving into the universe. And as we know, according to divine law, that which we are giving out, we receive back. If we can't breathe, it's time that we take a look and see what we are giving out. And when the problems are this big, when they're something that the entire human race is experiencing at the same time, I'm not just talking about what we're giving out as an individual. I'm talking about what we as a collective are and have been giving out. When we look at what happened in George Floyd's life and all the Black lives that were ended in the same way, it seems that what we're giving out is a belief, an energy that says there is no love. I am not experiencing love. I am not being loved. That's what we're saying as a human race when we're seeing it in such a great way. And when we think about the people who are suffering from the COVID virus, it seems that the message, the belief that we're giving into the collective is that we are separated from the life flow of God. When we see such a huge loss of income for people around the world at the same time, it appears that what we're giving out is a consciousness of there is not enough. I don't have enough to meet my needs. So when I think about those ideas that we have been harboring, developing over time, living from. To me, they come down to two key errors of consciousness up here on the screen. I would just summarize it this way. I am not loved, and I am powerless. And as we give those ideas, we receive in like kind. I am not loved, and I am powerless. That is the collective consciousness that I believe we have been living and giving from in a dominant way in order to create the scenario that we're all seeing on planet Earth right now. And in order to touch that guaranteed good in a tangible way in our lives, we must change our consciousness first. Something that was written by Richard and Mary Alice Jaffola in their book, The Quest, says that just as God brought forth the world with a thought, we bring forth our world with our thoughts. But whereas in God mind, all ideas are for our good, we take these ideas from God mind and filter them through our minds to create our world. That can be a marvelous thing, except when our minds are choked with perceived limitations and false beliefs, like I am not loved and I am powerless. The truth is, we are loved and we are love. The truth is, we are an extension of the power of God. But in order for us to express that guaranteed good in a tangible way, we must first come to know that we are intangible spirit. We are also invisible. We are also eternal. We are also everywhere present. And I'm asking you to consider the truth of your being first, that you are love, that you are power, and to live from that consciousness. Jesus tried to explain this in such an extraordinary and simple way, really. In his words from Matthew chapter 10, verse 8 up here on the screen, he said, "Go proclaim this message. The kingdom of heaven has come near. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those who have leprosy, drive out demons. Freely you have received, freely give." What had the disciples received? He didn't hand out bottles of medicine to give to the lepers. He didn't give them a degree in psychiatry to deal with those who seemed to be insane. What had the disciples received from him? The kingdom of heaven has come near. He gave them the divine idea of truth about their reality, about who they really were, that they were spiritual beings in this human experience. He was showing them what the kingdom of heaven looked like, that these limited experiences that were happening all around him did not have to be so. Freely you have received this truth that you are a spiritual being. Now freely give and live from that. And you will see that these human ailments, these human tragedies do not have to be. But it requires that we come to know the truth of our being first. And in order to receive, we must give. We must give into this flow. Remember that the flow that's moving in and through our lives is only showing us what we are giving out. So what can we give out into the flow of human consciousness to help change not only our own personal lives, but the collective, the world around us? I want to talk about that, about giving up certain things, giving into certain things, and giving away certain things. And one of the things I'm going to ask you to do first is to give up those fears that say, I am powerless and I am unworthy. Start by knowing that I am a spiritual being. Not only give up your own fears, but give up those negative beliefs and judgments about others, that they are powerless and they are unworthy. They are unloved. We must give that up and come back to truth. That we are all spirit, that we are all in and as the presence of the infinite. And as we give those ideas, not only give up those negative error beliefs, but give into those ideas of spiritual truth, that is when we will know, we will receive a conscious awakening to our inherent freedom, our inherent worth, our inherent power. Give up the negative error beliefs. Give into the truth of who you and all beings are, an expression of the divine. We can also give into this conscious, collective, unconscious, and conscious that we've got going on between us. We can give in to others' individuality. Instead of trying to make everyone the same, I'm asking you to allow others to be who they are. If each of us are an expression of the divine, can you take in the idea that we are all meant to be different, that we are unlimited in who we really are as spiritual beings, and it's up to us to give in to that unique expression and allow others to be who they are? One of the things that I'm asking you to do today is to try and spend more time with people who are different. We will support the freedom of the collective consciousness when we begin to embrace its differences, to come to understand and know each unique heart as it is without trying to fix it or change it. I'm also asking you to know your guaranteed good by giving into the present moment. To come fully into this now moment. Don't run from what's happening. Don't deny what's happening. Just become present to what's happening. And as you put down your arms and give up your resistance, you will be open to the guaranteed good that is seeking to flow in and through you. That's when you will receive your freedom. As you become present to the moment, you will start to see what the greater message is for you. But you have to be present to it. Give in to the present moment so that you may receive what the message is. I'm going to ask you too to be mindful of what your human needs are right now and give in to those. I don't know about you, but I have literally been sensing in my body the upset of the world around me. I've heard more and more people use the word overwhelm. And it certainly makes sense when you think about how we have been inundated with this information, this energy, this news, these tragedies, these sadnesses, these limitations. It can be overwhelming to the physical human. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is give into the human needs by taking some time to unplug from what's happening. If you are going to give time to the news and conversation and reading and arguing and throwing out points of view, will you also give time to a connection to your spirit, to relax the body, to turn off the mind, to be still? And while you're doing that, let's look at giving up control of the ego. Part of this touching our guaranteed good means acknowledging that my human being shouldn't really be in charge right now. Right now, our human being really needs to say, I surrender. I surrender to my higher self. I surrender to my inner wisdom. I surrender. I admit that I need help. I admit that I don't know the answers. I admit that I'm not sure what to say or how to support. And one of the ways that we can ask for help is to find ways online. And I'm going to recommend, this is one of my recommendations that I promised I was going to be offering on a regular basis, is that if you're on Facebook, you look up the group, What is Mine to Do? It's really exploded in members in the last week or two. And you are going to see all kinds of people expressing all kinds of ideas. And that is how you are going to learn. It's going to be an opportunity for you to learn what you can do to help set your ego aside and listen with the heart. It's going to help you give up a blind eye and give in to understanding, because you are going to hear some ideas that you've probably never heard before. See this as an opportunity to give in to learning. And as you open yourself up to new ideas and new ways of living, you are going to start to build an understanding and a compassion. That is what you're going to receive as you give in to learning and give up your ego's control. It is so important right now to give in to the still small voice. Your higher self is talking to you all the time. But if there is too much noise, if there is too much tension or stress or anxiety, too much distraction, we will never hear it. We have to learn how to give in by surrendering to that higher self within us, the very presence of God as you, that wants to move you forward through this. For every minute that you give to news, will you also give an equal minute to prayer and meditation? Will you give time to the silence, to quiet your mind, to be still and know the voice and the heart and the wisdom of God? That's how you will receive your guaranteed good, is to give in to the spirit that provides it by listening, breathing, waiting on the presence of God. I'm also going to ask you to try giving up your need to be right. One of the things that you'll see online right now is people all having different opinions about things, and how many people want to have their voice heard. I'm going to ask if you will just notice if it's your turn to ask forgiveness, to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. That practice is called Ho'oponopono. It's an Hawaiian ritual that gives us an opportunity to own what we have contributed toward the collective. And many of you may be feeling, what am I sorry about? I haven't ever hurt anyone's feelings. I'm going to just offer right now that you and I, as part of the collective, would not be seeing what we are seeing if there was not an element in our consciousness that contributed towards it. This would not be, in our view, if we did not have some level of consciousness within us or unconsciousness that says, I am not enough or you are not enough. And so this is an opportunity for us to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm going to repeat something that I said last week, that if there's one thing that a white person can contribute at this time, is to just listen, to be still and allow others to share their hurt and their anger. Give your attention, give way to love by opening your heart and listening to what others need to say right now. They have a story that needs to be heard. And though you may want to be an active presence in their life right now, I really believe that the best way you can give love to them is to just give your heart wide open, listening and being a supportive presence for them, not fixing, but acknowledging their story and valuing their worth. Give your love away. That's what I'm asking of you. And that's how I promise you will come to know your guaranteed good, that you give up that energy that is resisting, that is blocking the flow of good, that you give in to the good that is trying to express through you, and that you give way and give away that good that others need from you right now. As we have freely received that good at the very core of our being, freely give. Freely you have received. Now freely give. Will you pray with me in a moment here? Oh, loving spirit, giving spirit. We have freely received the infinite in our own beings. In this moment, we live and move and have our being in the presence of guaranteed good. We are so thankful that it is always available to us. The flow of divine life in our bodies, the wisdom in our minds, the flow of infinite substance to supply our every need, and the harmonizing power of love. At this very moment, working to bring good into every situation. We thank you, God, that that is our guaranteed good. And as we have freely received, we now freely give. So it is, so we let it be. Amen. Thank you for being here with me today, beloveds. I'm so grateful to have you give your heart into what's happening in our world around us right now. If not you, who? If not now, when? And in this time in our service, we have another opportunity for you to give. This is in a more tangible way, but it actually begins in spirit, where we share our tithes and our love offerings. You are a channel for the divine to give through. And the divine has an infinite resource that is seeking to express these divine ideas. And if they're important to you, and if you want them to see them spoken and shared out into the universe, I'm going to invite you to give into them in a practical way with your gifts. I'm going to ask you to bless your gift with me. I know so many of you are already scheduled to give your gift automatically, and we're so thankful for that. And for all of you who sit here in the moment and are moved to give, we thank you for that. And however you are giving into this stream of good with your gifts, I want you to bless those gifts with me and set them free to do even greater good. Let's speak these blessing words together up here on the screen. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am grateful. Thank you. We have a way for you to give online. There is a donate button on our Facebook page. There is a donate button on our website, unityinnaperville.org. And you also can mail your checks to Unity in Naperville at our P.O. Box, which is 9733 in Naperville. And the zip code is 60567. Thank you for your loving, giving, generous hearts. And as you are giving, I'm going to invite you to allow the energy and the words of Kim-Char's music to raise you up, to give yourself away. Kim-Char, let's sing.
Slow down, be still, let go, we will be here, be now. Slow down, be still, breathe in, refill, choose to love and to know that the call is to give all you are. Give love away, away. Oh, rise, rise, people of love, rise, people of love, rise. Give yourself away. Oh, rise, rise, people of love, rise, people of love, rise. Give yourself away, give yourself away. Slow down, just breathe. Be still, believe. Be here, be now. Slow down and see. It's all you need. Be loved and free. If you choose to love and to know that the call is to give all you are. Give love away, away. Oh, rise, rise, people of love, rise, people of love, rise. Give yourself away. Come on, rise, rise, people of love, rise, people of love, rise. Give yourself away, give yourself away and rise, rise, people of love, rise, people of love, rise. Give yourself away. Oh, rise, rise, people of love, rise, people of love, rise. Give yourself away, give yourself away.
Boy, did we need that song today. Thank you for that,
Rise,
Kim-Char.
rise.
Give yourself away, my loves. Give yourself away. We want to stay connected with you. I know that during this time, it's easy to forget the truth of who we are. And so I think it's important that you stay in touch with people of spirit who can help remind you of the peace, the goodness, the love, the light that's around us right now. And we have a lot of different ways for you to do that. I'm actually going to ask you to help contribute towards that and be part of our Sunday message or Sunday service by sharing once in a while when you have come across a piece of good news that you want us to know. Or if you have been practicing your spirituality where, you came upon a struggle in life and you were able to remember some of these spiritual principles and apply it, that you'd like to tell us about. And then we'll help you get that video recorded and we'll show it on a Sunday morning. And we're going to give you an example of this. Let's take a look.
Hi there. We have a good news report today that's brought to us by Danette Harris. She found it on today.com, and it goes like this. Chandran Gul's family has lived in the same corner in the same neighborhood in Nashville, Tennessee all of his life. In the wake of George Floyd's death, however, Dhram Gul didn't feel at home or even safe in his own community. He worried what could happen if one of his white neighbors saw him, didn't recognize him, and called the cops. Posting on the app Nextdoor that connects people living in the same neighborhood, he wrote, "Yesterday I wanted to walk around my neighborhood, but the fear of not returning home to my family alive kept me on my front porch. Today I wanted to walk again, and I could not make it off the porch." Before posting, Dhram Gul wasn't a fan of the neighborhood app because it often said messages on it like, "Suspicious black men walking in my neighborhood." He said, "It was terrifying to me. I'm like, these people hate me in this neighborhood. He added that he's been stopped by the police for, quote, walking while black, end quote, before. It's not a new reality, he explained. But the flood of responses to his post on Nextdoor didn't align with his expectations. He said 150 strangers who lived nearby answered, offering to walk with him, apologizing for making him feel the way he did, and thanking him for his honesty. He asked the people who wanted to walk with him to meet him nearby, and about 75 showed up, and they all went for a stroll together. It was such an amazing feeling, Dromgoole recalled. My neighbors were behind me, and they had my back. That was my reaction. I'm still dumbfounded by all the support. In a world that's so complicated with technology and things, sometimes you just need to walk off your front porch and say, hey, to your neighbor.
Wow.
Oh, thank
Kitty,
you,
that was your
Rhonda.
message.
Yeah, I know.
That was your message right there.
I know. Thank you. Thank you, Danette, for finding that. Thank you for Rhonda for reading it. So see, it's not that hard. Even if you don't want to read on camera, just send us the news report and we'll get someone else to read it for you. So just send it to admin@unityinnaperville.org, or just send her an email. This is my assistant, Melody, and just let her know what you're interested in doing, and we'll help you from there. Okay, what's next, Kim-Char?
Well, you know, as it always is, we have a lot happening during the week, Kitty. We start off with Monday, June 8th, everyone, 11:45 a.m. We have the Prayerful Connection conference call. Wonderful time to join the chaplains for some inspirational prayer and readings. And that is via phone. Don't worry if you don't write this phone number down soon enough or quick enough. Go to the website. It's there for you. Also happening this week, every Tuesday and Thursday, as it's been for the past couple months, Lunch Together Online, where we gather together and enjoy some fellowship, good conversation, definitely some laughs. Join us. You go to unitycommunityconnect.com, click on the Lunch Together Online channel, and we'll be there.
And how about Be Inspired? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I can. Be inspired, inspire others. That happens every Wednesday. We literally do have something every single day, Kitty.
I know.
And that is a group that gets together really to share thoughts about this past Sunday's message. And if you want to, bring a lunch and join them. It's at lunchtime from 12 noon to about 12:30. And again, you go to unitycommunityconnect.com and click on the Be Inspired, Inspire Others channel, and go to the Zoom from there.
I think this Wednesday event is definitely a good time for you to just be able to share your concerns about what the world is going through right now, and not only be inspired by others, but you might bring some ideas and thoughts to the group. And I really appreciate you having that energy together. So thank you for doing that. And to all our volunteers who are facilitating that. I am starting something new this month called Spirit Talk. And it's an opportunity for us to just study some metaphysical principles. And so I'm going to do the first one on Saturday, this coming Saturday at 9:30 in the morning. What I'm going to do is post a reading, probably a page or two that you can look at ahead of time and download, that will be on our unitycommunityconnect.com site, and look for the Spirit Talk channel. I will have that posted by Thursday morning. And that will be an opportunity for you to see what we'll be talking about on Saturday morning. And I'm going to do this 3 or 4 times throughout the month. Each time will be different. So if you can join us Saturday, that would be great at 9:30. We will be using Zoom to do this. And there will be a link in the Spirit Talk channel that will help you open the Zoom channel. And also, I am wanting to create a space for you to see where there are some resources for you to help alleviate unconscious bias. That's what I'm asking all of our community to do, is to notice anything that's buried there that needs to be released when it comes to accepting every person on the planet just as they are, just as beautiful and worthy as they are. So I'm going to be posting resources occasionally in a channel called Safe Hearts, and that will be coming up in the next week or so. And I will put the link into that Facebook group I talked to you about, What is Mine to Do. And one of the higher thoughts, since we're on this topic of becoming conscious, one of the higher thoughts I want to invite you into today is talk less, listen more. And Kim-Char, what's happening with, gosh, we got a lot of things your way. I'm going to let you go. What do you got?
Well, I think, let's see, we're probably heading into next Sunday on our announcements here. So next Sunday, wow, it's like, what do they call it? A double hitter or something? I don't know what it is. It's Megan McDonough and Kitty Benson. Woo-hoo! Sunday morning, next Sunday, June 14th. You asked for it. You wanted some special music. And boy, why not get like the best? That's what I say. So we've got Megan McDonough bringing some music and message along with Kitty will absolutely be there during the service.
I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Same place, same time. Sunday, June 14th, 10:45. You can check in either through our Facebook page or online at unityinnaperville.org. And then let's see, what else do I have on my little list? Oh yeah, June 20. You know, June is Pride Month, and
yes,
we will be having our Pride themed service on June 21st at 10:45 a.m. titled "Beautiful and Worthy." And we've got a lot of exciting things planned and are excited about. I'm really excited about one thing in particular. I've reached out to our friend Karen Drucker, whom we do a lot of her music.
We do.
A lot of her music. And at first I just asked Karen, would you mind terribly if we made a video using I Am Beautiful, that song, I am beautiful, I am power. You know that one, right, Kitty?
Yes.
And not only did she say yes, she also agreed to be in our video with us. And it's very simple to and easy to be part of the video. Over the next week, I'm going to invite you to send in just video of you smiling even. You don't even have to sing. You just want to smile. That would be awesome. You can do the sign language, and I'm going to have a videotape that goes out with Karen signing it for us so you can sign with her as you're filming your video. You can sing, and more about how to submit your videos throughout this week will come out in our e-newsletter that goes out on Tuesday morning. So if you're not signed up for our e-news, please do so. You can go to unityinnaperville.org. It's somewhere on the page. I don't know if
it's on the homepage. Yeah.
It's somewhere on the homepage. Sign up for our e-newsletter, and then you'll be sure to get all the information about how to participate in our I Am Beautiful video with Karen Drucker. And that will be shown on June 21st during our Beautiful and Worthy service.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to be in it.
Yay!
Y'all better help me.
I will too. I'm going to be in it.
Okay, good.
And what else do we have, Parker?
12 powers.
Oh, okay. So listen, thank you so much for everyone who's submitted entries for our 12 Powers project. I got well over a dozen, but here's what I'm feeling.
What are you feeling, Kim-Char?
You know what, Kitty? Kitty, I'm glad you asked. I'm feeling there's more out there, people. I know you have something there, and maybe you felt like you ran out of time or there were just too many things going on. But so tell you what, how about end of June? How's that sound to you, Kitty? End of June.
I think that's plenty of time, even for you procrastinators.
Yeah, come on.
That
End of June. Mark it on the calendar already. Same idea. If you need more information about the project itself and you're not sure what we're talking about, go to unitycommunityconnect.com, click on 12 Powers Project, and there's a description and more information. The submission form is right there on our unityinnaperville.org homepage as well. So deadline extended, but a special thank you to everyone who submitted already. I so appreciate that.
Blue ribbons for all of you for getting it in on time.
Blue ribbons.
Thank you. And I just want to plant a seed. I don't have a slide for this, but I just want you to get it in the back of your mind and maybe put it on your calendar today that, you know, if you have been part of Unity for any length of time, that we usually have an annual congregational meeting. And we normally have it in April, but since we had to close the building, we have postponed that. And the board has been talking, and we decided what we'd like to do is give little pieces of that annual meeting out in segments, part 1 and part 2. So part 1 of the annual meeting is for everyone. You don't have to be a member of Unity to join us. And that's going to happen on Sunday, June 28th. After the service. We'll start at 12:30. So if you would just save that date on your calendar, June 28th, 12:30, should be pretty short, since we're just doing a piece of the meeting. And we also want to be able to give you access to reports or handouts or whatever. So it's important that and we also need to let you know how to access it. It will be a Zoom meeting, not a live stream. So you will have to be able to connect to us on Zoom. So it's really important that you make sure that we have your email address so that we can include this in the e-news and maybe a separate email out to you. And again, as Kim-Char mentioned, go to our homepage, look for the place to add your name to the mailing list. And if you would do that, then we'll make sure and let you know how to be part of that meeting on June 28th. Okay? Thank you. Now, last thing we're going to do as we leave the service today is take your questions and answers and just hear how you're feeling today. And you can do that by sending in a text right now. And let's put the text number up. It's 630-793-0993. And while you're busy starting to text in your thoughts and questions, let's pick up our heads from our phones and look at the screen one more time. And let's take a look at our closing affirmation, which also will be the words we are about to sing, which say together with me, please, I send my love over the mountain and it returns to me. Kim-Char, let's sing that.
Isn't that Karen Drucker?
It is Karen Drucker.
It is Karen Drucker,
yeah,
speaking
exactly.
of. Okay. And I'm going to do this slightly faster than we normally do it, everyone. Just heads up. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. We'll go ahead and sing that first verse one more time. I send my love. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy over the mountains. I send my joy over the sea. I send my joy into the heavens, and it returns to me. It returns to me. I send my peace over the mountains. I send my peace over the sea. I send my peace into the heavens, and it returns to me. It returns to me. I send my love, I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. And it returns to me. Oh, and it returns to me. It returns to me.
That is spiritual law, my loves. Let's just keep that in mind this week. What we send out, we receive.
Yeah.
Hey, are you texting me? Send me your texts about today or about your questions about things that are coming up. And you can also be commenting online. So you can, are you able to see Facebook Live comments, Kim-Char?
I am. Let me just
and also our website comments?
I am.
Let me share one from Don here. Don said, thank you, Kitty, for the beautiful guidance. When you mentioned ho'oponopono, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. He said, I was reminded of the psychiatrist who cured an entire violent psychiatric ward that was in a prison without ever seeing them. He just read their charts and said the ho'oponopono prayer, feeling that he had drawn that consciousness to himself. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And that is actually how I came to know about it as well. That's Dr. Hulen Haleakala had that experience of being able to just, first of all, own it in his consciousness that he was contributing to the collective. And he's just set time every day to hold those thoughts. And as Don said, the prison ward ended up being shut down because there was no people left because they were healing. They were healing. And that's what we need to heal our bias. That's what we need to heal this illness that is pervading our planet. That's what we need to heal our hearts.
Yes.
Thank you, Don.
Yes.
Kim-Char, did you have any comments over there?
Yeah, I do. On Facebook, I see that Karen Hernandez writes, is the Unity Ministry video shown at the beginning of the service available and shareable from our Facebook page or website? It was so beautiful, and I want to watch it again.
Cool.
Didn't you share it?
Great minds think alike, because I found it this morning and I posted it on our Unity in Naperville Facebook page.
Yay!
So hopefully you're on Facebook and you can share it with others. Take a look.
Okay. And then Sharon Jebsky writes, can you speak to the quote, missed opportunity for healing the collective, end quote, if we dismiss too quickly or bypass our uncomfortable feelings about what is going on around us and jump to the, quote, there is only good, quote, end quote. Isn't this the spiritual gift of the protesters to shine light into the caverns of the collective unacknowledged pain and invite us to tend the wounds together in a way that not only heals, but changes and lifts us all to higher compassion, love, and being? We are called to presence in the allness exactly as it is expressing now.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. Wow.
That was beautiful.
That was.
I don't think I even need to respond to that. I think you responded well. Thank you for that. I think I touched on it just a little bit when I was asking us just to be mindful not only to what our bodies need and are feeling right now in all of this, but also to listen to the pain, to be a good listener to those who are sharing their pain right now, not to rush in to fix, but to allow that presence to be heard and to feel a connection to one another. Consider that Black lives have been experiencing this pain for centuries. For some of us in the white community, we're just now becoming awake to it. And so we also need some time to listen, to take it in, to understand the gravity of it, to offer, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. There's a lot of work to be done here. And my mom was asking me, how do we get through this? And I said, Mom, we may not see the end of this in our lifetime, either one of us. We may not see great headway in our lifetime because there is way too much work to do to first listen and own, listen and own. And I don't want you to be frightened of that. I want you to just trust that in the midst of that, the good is still present, that you can lean into. But we don't need to rush to turn it into, we don't want to slap a Band-Aid on this, or else it will just show itself in another way.
No need to rush, but certainly what is mine to do will present itself in due time.
Yes. And I think if you're listening, if you're a good listener, your heart will be able to tell you.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Let's see, on the live stream chat, I see Danette goes, yay, the 12 Powers Project deadline is extended.
Happy about that.
I was thinking of doing more and did run out of time. Okay, Danette, you have time. Same for Cindy Friedman, who goes, thanks for extending the 12 Powers Project deadline. It did slip my mind because of a few other things taking over the space. So I'm glad that we all have the time then. the added time to do this.
Yeah.
Yay.
I have from Suzanne, I send my love over to Kitty, Kim-Char, Drucker, and to all the wonderful Unity peeps. So just know it's coming your way, my darlings. And Cindy Spees said, good morning, Rev Kitty and Kim-Char. It's easy for many of us to throw our hands in the air thinking that's just the way things are. Thank you for showing us how to shine light to ourselves and the world. Big hugs. Thank you, Cindy.
Yes. I have to say, there's just a few comments here. People were surprised yet delighted to actually see Parker Meredith on screen earlier. So
he lives.
He lives back there in the studio against the green screen. So
thank you.
Let's see.
Marge Snyder says, great message, Kitty. It's so needed in these challenging times. Thank you, Marge. I'm glad it was serving you. And also, hey, this is, I don't know who this is. Kim-Char mentioned we are getting the best with Megan next week. Let Kim-Char know that we have the best.
Oh.
We have the best musicians already, but we are adding to it. So
just adding to this.
So true. So true. Thank you.
Let's see. Speaking of music, Cindy Freeman writes, OMG, the breathe in, breathe out song is exactly what I need right now. As I literally am trying to clear years of clutter from my home, I'm trying to breathe positive and good as I release each piece of stuff that does not serve me anymore, and try to recognize it rather than think I need to keep it all. And no, it will be okay. There is so much in our physical house, our body house, our spiritual house, our old belief house, etc., that it is needing to be clear. Needing clearing right now so we can start to live our purposeful life. I've been singing Karen Drucker's I Release and I Let Go, and it has helped a bit, and I now will be singing this song while I continue this project. Thank you. Thank you, Cindy.
Yeah,
I have to tell you the comments today, Kitty. It's like they're just little messages in them of themselves between Sharon and Cindy.
I'm hearing that.
They're just bringing it.
I know. I can hear you guys doing your work, and that's important.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I don't have any more comments that I can see. Do you have any more?
Let me see.
Oh, this just went in. What? Kitty, are you going to welcome us new members? Oh, that is so funny that you mentioned that. I'm not sure who that is. Oh, Michael and Mary Beth Spear. Okay, so wonderful message. Are you going to welcome us new members at the upcoming annual meeting? And this is from 2 new members, Michael and Mary Beth. I was just thinking about you guys when I woke up this morning about how the fact that we haven't been able to have our membership. We have kind of a special ceremony that we do during the service where we do an anointing. And I'm sorry that we haven't been able to do that. So let me think about how we might be able to do that online with you guys. But for sure, when we get back, we're going to have you come back up either way. And P.S., you're already members since you took the class, so you don't have to wait for some special ceremony. But we definitely want to welcome you and let everyone get to know who you are. So thank you for asking that. And we'll make sure we make something part of the annual meeting coming up in June 28th. Thank you.
Yay. And I just see a couple excited comments about doing the video with Karen Drucker. So I'm really excited.
I'm excited
to do this with her.
Yes.
So again, if you want the information, be sure that you're on our e-news list. If you're not, go ahead and sign up at unityandnaperville.org. The information will go out Tuesday.
Okay. Hey, everybody, we are going to close the stream and head over to the fellowship area. So what we'd like you to do now is go to unitycommunityconnect.com. And I'm sure if you've been there before, you know what to do next. Look for the live stream chat channel, and there will be a link to Zoom. If you've never been in there, you're going to have to do just a real quick sign in with your name and email to get into the Unity Community Connect, and then look for live stream chat. And we hope to get to talk with you more today. Love you guys. Just spend this week breathing a lot, listening a lot, allowing the life of God to flow through you as you are present to whatever is happening, and know that you are safe and you are loved and God is good. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
An open letter to Black America from Unity Ministers. We love you, and we embrace our responsibility to eradicate racism. It is our divine appointment to stand with you.
To see you.
To hear you.
To listen.
To be in conversation with you.
To be with your anger without judgment.
To know your sacred worth.
To acknowledge my privilege.
To take responsibility.
To confront complacency.
To back my words with action. Palabras con acción.
To be accountable for effecting change in my community.
To support Black-owned businesses.
To be a bender of the arc of the moral universe that bends toward justice.
To demand the end of police brutality.
To use my voice and my vote to end systemic racism.
To hold you and our country in prayer.
To be a call to action.
To be a voice for justice.
To be a voice for unity.